everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Ariana from Where Black Sheep Meet, and today is the first Saturday of the month, which means it is my cross-stitch journey video number 5. So I got quite a few things now to show you guys. It's slowly building up and I'm getting more and more little projects. Well, not little projects, but you'll see what I mean. But I just want to say hello to all my new subscribers. I noticed that I am at 1,993. I checked right before this video. So I am super close to hitting my 2,000 sub goal. And I'm just so shocked. Like, you guys want to see me? But I mean, it's exciting. I'm excited. I love that everybody kind of, I guess, likes something, even though it's a little out there sometimes. But, you know, it's fun. It's fun for me. So I think what I want to do, since I didn't hit it yet, I'm not going to count my chickens before they hatch. But maybe next month in my cross-stitch journey video, I will have something for you guys. So stay tuned for that, and I'll talk about it a little more at the end. But otherwise, yeah, like I said, just thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing, and I hope I can continue to entertain you guys. But anyways, let's go ahead and get into it. Also, before I really get into this video, these little dust things just don't go away. I think it's because I work with so much threads and fabric, because I do so much sewing and everything, that they're everywhere. I've dusted and I've like wiped everything down, and they're still like, you can see them floating around. So I'm sorry if like I still have like dust. If I still have dust in my room, it's just, I don't know. It's just because I work with so much fibers, and I think the lighting is not helping. So I just want to throw that out there in case you keep continually see them. And of course, it's great that my camera is like high quality because it's on my phone, but it sees everything. So I just want to throw that out there. So hopefully you don't get too annoyed seeing the little dusty floaty bits everywhere. Also, I have a light right here. So see how there's light? So it's like reflecting really well off of this light. So I think that's part of it too. So let's start with, I guess, little life update, because I know people like to do that. I'm just throwing a little one here. But as of today, I should be completely vaccinated with my COVID. I've already gotten my second shot, so this is the 2 weeks out from that one. So I am good to go. I did have a couple symptoms that were not common, but let's see. One was swollen lymph nodes in my like armpit area right here. And that freaked me out because it felt like a bump, even though there wasn't a bump there. It was really weird. So apparently that happens. And then I also have hair loss in my eyebrow right here, which there's makeup now, so you can't see it, but there's like a loss of like a little patchy area up here in front now. And I'm like, what happened? I kid you not. So I don't know. I didn't realize it until I was taking off my makeup the other day, and I was standing there at night looking in the mirror, and I'm like, did I pluck that? I couldn't figure it out. I was standing there for like, I kid you not, 10-15 minutes, and I'm thinking like, I know I plucked like a few days ago, but I didn't overpluck like that. And I was like, well, maybe I did it in my sleep. Was I half asleep when I did it? I don't know. I don't know. It was just so smooth. And I was like, let me Google it. You know, you shouldn't Google anything. You really shouldn't. But I Googled it. And yeah, it turns out that there is reports that you can have hair loss. And some people, it grew back right away. And other people, they're still struggling with it. So I'm like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm happy I'm fully vaccinated, and I would totally do it again in a heartbeat. But I just want to put that out there because I was freaking out for 2 different days, because this had like these things happened in 2 different time frames. So it was like, it was really odd, and I just had no idea that those kind of things were a result of it. But I mean, like I said, it's done, it's good, I'm good to go. That me and my husband are fully vaccinated, the family's almost done. So hopefully soon we can go and visit and stuff like that. Do a little more traveling, you know. Other than that, I'm currently living in San Antonio, Texas. And we just had our first tornado warning just 2 days ago, and it came out of nowhere. Like, they didn't think it was much, and then out of like half an hour before it like really hits us, they're like, we get the notification on the phone, the Amber Alert, and it's like, tornado warning, bunker down, pretty much. And we were like, what the heck? So we're running around like getting things from outside, because we have stuff that can blow away anyways. And then they're reporting lots of hail, and I was like, oh no, the car, like, we just bought a new car a few months ago in February. And I was like, I don't want it to get all dinged up. So we just moved in, like, what, 5 months ago now? 5 months. And so the garage is our storage area right now. So we went in there and we're like throwing things to the sides and making room for the car to go in. So we finally get enough space. The car fits perfectly. The other one we have is a little junky car, so we were fine with that. We just put it next to the house as far as we could. But yeah, we got hail the size of like $50, and maybe 10 minutes away, maybe at the most 10 minutes away. It was probably a little closer. They were getting like tennis ball size hail. Another one of my husband's coworker was also getting like the tennis ball size hail. So we got lucky that we only had $50 sizes. But yeah, we had the hail and like tons of rain. The street in front of our house was just a river of water. There was so much rain. So we just hung out in the laundry room, because that's the center of our home. And we were just hanging out in there. The girls were a little scared when we were starting to like, okay, we're gonna go hide out. We're gonna go hide in the laundry room for a little bit. And they were like, what is going on? But we kind of just talked, and while we were in there, and we called a bunch of family to let them know we were okay, what was going on. And so that really calmed them down. And then after that, they were fine. We did lose power for like an hour and a half at like 1:30 in the morning to like almost 3. But thankfully it came back on real quick. So we didn't have to worry about anything breaking or anything like that. It was just a quick power out, thankfully. So it's been a very eventful week. Otherwise, my mom was here for 2 weeks, and so I got a lot of stitching done, because I just took the time off to enjoy the time with my mom. It was just nice seeing her again. It had been 2 years since she had come to visit us in Germany. So it's been a while since I've seen her. And so it was nice to have her here for 2 weeks. So most of the time we were just hanging out, and while I was there, I was doing all my stitching. So you can probably see in the title of this video how much I got done. And yeah, so I don't think I can get that much stitching done again. I mean, I don't know. I don't think so. I'm gonna put my standards low. So that way, if I exceed them, it's gonna be great. But that's about it with the life update stuff. It was relaxing until the very end there. So I can't complain. Could be worse. Could have been worse. So I guess the first thing I really want to show you guys is my first FFO. And as you remember, I finished my Lydia Deeds Beetlejuice little tiny cross stitch. Well, I finally framed it. So this is it. Oh gosh, there's a big old glare. Let's see. I guess nothing's gonna help. This is, yeah, there's so much glare. I guess that's the best I can do. I'm sorry. I know it's just a glass. It doesn't reflect much where I have it right now. There, I think that's the best I can get it. But I picked up this frame at Hobby Lobby and it was $30, but it was 50% off. So it only came out to like $14. Now this is much bigger than I anticipated. I thought it was gonna be tiny so that I can put it on my door, but it's huge and it's very heavy. So also in the back, it's only got the stand for the frame. I can put a little hook here, but then I'd have to like rip this off. And I don't know if I want to do that yet. But like I said, if I put that, then I have to put a nail in my door. And I'm not sure I want to commit to putting a hole in my door right now. So I was thinking maybe command strips, but I was like, no, because this is velvet. So I don't know. I don't think those command strips are going to stick to the velvet very well. So it's just going to have to go not on my door, which is fine. It's okay. I plan to put some like shelves over here. You can't really see it because it's over my computer area, but I want to put some shelves there and I just haven't done it yet. And then I think I will put this up there and have that there, because I think back here, I'm going to put some hooks and I'm going to hang all my Loungefly backpacks because I have quite a few of those. So I think that would be really cool to like have hanging up so I can see, because they're beautiful backpacks. I love Loungefly. I will pass on collecting designer purses any day. Give me a Loungefly backpack or wallet, because they have so many. They have so many genres and themes and characters, and there's so many I want, right? Anyways, this will definitely have to go on the shelf, and that's okay. But I finally finished it. Also, this frame is very similar to the one in the picture, except it's got different detailing. So it's the same shape and the same like type of frame. It's just got different detailing on it. Because I was like, wait a minute, I feel like I've seen this before. But no, it was just, they're slightly different. But this was the idea of the frame that I wanted. So I was happy I found the exact size that I needed. They had some other ones that were like wood grained, and it was like scratched almost. So it had like a slightly off-white sort of look on the scratches on a black frame. And it was very Tim Burton-esque, but I felt like it wasn't enough for this. So I went with the more gothy, like in your face frame. And I'm happy with it. I love it. I framed it myself. I just wrapped it around the cardboard that came in this and put a couple of the Gorilla poster tacky stuff, and that held that in place real good. So yeah, this is it. It's done. I'm so happy. My first finished cross stitch project and my first framed one. So it's exciting so far. I'm excited to continue on. All right, so next order of business is moving on to my whips. So the first one, of course, I'm going to show you is my Silas scene by Margaret Morales, because that is my very, very first cross stitch project. And we'll get to the progress on her. So I know that I was saying that my goal was to finish the whole first row. Did I finish that? No. I'll get into it. Let me show you what I've got so far. So this is what she looked like before. So, dun, dun, dun. I did put quite a few rows. I did put quite a few rows in there. I'll get you up as close as I can. I got from just after the star. So I did this one, I believe, up to here. And so all this right here is new. And then I still am working on this column here. So let me see. But I just love looking at this. It is so gorgeous. I know I say it every time, but this is stunning. It's the one that I just can't stop looking at. But I'm so excited to finish up this row soon because it's getting there. It's getting there. I think the page finish is the let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I just had 2 more columns to finish off this page till I'm on to the 5th page, and the 5th page is obviously a partial. So yeah, she's my stunning Celestine. I am happy that I'm into the blue now. It's not so confetti heavy. It's getting a lot easier. I'm doing a lot more stitching in a shorter time frame again. So I think these are gonna fly by once I really sit down and do it. So the thing is that I got to, where was it? I got to about here. Was it here? No, it was about here-ish, somewhere in the blue, in this darker blues. And it was getting really tedious. So I decided that I just needed to put it down, and then I got absorbed in other things. I really didn't want to jump back into this until more recently, like this week, where I was like, okay, I really want to just stitch on this. Like this, I'm excited to stitch on again. It was getting, like I said, the tediousness was kind of making me not want to do her right now. But once I got into more of the blues again and it was going quicker, I was like, okay, I really want to stitch on her again. So I'm going to start with her probably this week and just try and get as far as I can. So let me get into her details. I wrote it all down because now there's a lot of things now. So I got to write them down, otherwise I'm going to forget. So she is Celestine by Margaret Morales, and I am at 28,230 stitches, which means I did 2,486 stitches on her since the last time, and I'm 18.33% done. 18%. So this must be 20 or 21-ish over here. But I did work on, I wrote down every day what I stitched on and how much I did. So I did stitch on her for 6 days total, and that's how far I got in 6 days. So it's not too bad. You know, I really didn't realize how much. I thought I was working on them so much. And then I sat down yesterday and counted out all the days, and I was like, oh, that wasn't much at all. I barely did a week, not even a week. So it made it feel more possible to get her done, or to get all of them done anyways, because I see how much progress I got on them. But anyways, she is on a 25 count linen, and I just gridded it myself with the silky threads, and I am doing 2/1 full cross, and it is getting really difficult now that I'm doing other types of count fabrics and stitching. I'm noticing why people don't like the 2/1 on 25 count. It is very difficult. It's very bulky, and it is really hard to push the needle through sometimes, especially in the very confetti areas. And I think that's also part of the reason why I didn't want to pick her up, just because I knew how difficult it was going to be to do the stitching. So like I said, what's done is done at this point. Like, that's what she's gonna be. But I am now seeing what everyone's talking about now that I'm getting more farther in with different types of fabrics and thread counts. And then here you go. Here's the back. You can see it's see how dense and like a little more messier it is over here. Like I said, this was the trouble area. Like, you can see that. I don't know what it was. If it just had that many different colors in that spot, I don't know. But yeah, you can kind of see that it's just a little more knotted there and in this whole like region. But I love the back. I think this is so cool. Look how like abstract it looks, right? So that is the back, and that is Celestine for now. So my goal, hopefully, is to just finish this row. Hopefully that's what I can get done. It doesn't look like a lot, but you know, with time restraints and things like that, it can be, I guess. But that is Celestine. So I finally finished the Grime Guards that I needed to make for both of my projects, and I messed up. They're too narrow. I don't know what I was thinking. My original one I thought was 5 inches wide, so I was like, well, let me do this one 4 inches wide. And it's so tiny. And then I went to go measure my old one, and it's like 8 inches wide. So it's okay. It holds the fabric pretty much. So that's all I needed to do, really. It does cover where my hands go. It's all good. But I did have this fabric in my stash since I'm trying to slash the stash. And it's perfect. It's got the little birds that match my project bag that I made. And it actually, although this fabric isn't my favorite, I actually don't like this fabric. But when I have it inside, let me shove everything back in. For example, like it looks really nice with all the colors. It kind of actually matches the colors a little bit. So I like looking at it inside of the bag. Yeah, so that is my Grime Guard for that one. Finally got it done. All right, whip number 2 is my second start. Or she's not my, well, yeah, this isn't my second start, right? This is my third start. So going in order of start date, this one is my second current whip. And this one is Persephone, and it's by Alessandra V. Bach. And here is where I was last time that I showed you this. And here is where I am now. I finished the page. Look, it's just background, so it's nothing super exciting, but a full page is done. 1 page out of 9 for the first row. I think I have to do 3 more pages of background before I even get to his hair. And it starts to get into something. So this is, here I am, and then I gotta get all of this, and then I'll get into his hair on page 5. So it's gonna be a lot of background, but it went so fast. I'm telling you, this 10 stitch is amazing. And there's only 4 colors I've been working with. There was lots of black in the beginning, but you can see it's now moving into this blue. This is the 500 green. You can see the green in there. And yeah, so there's lots of blue and green mixed in here, but most of it is blue. So it's very color blocky, very fast moving. I love it so far. I'm so excited to work on this. So the reason I got so much done on this is because I was reading a romance novel, and it was on Kindle Unlimited. So I'm reading it. It's about, that one specifically was about fae and like a dark winter fae king or something. And so from there it went into an elf and a bride, and the human bride he had to marry. And so I'm reading that one, and then it gave another recommended one, and that was something like, what was it? Something about Hades. And so it was about Hades and Persephone. And I was like, wow, that definitely sounds like my type of story. So I started reading it. I got really into it. And the romance stuff was good, but it was like a slow burn romance novel. But I really enjoyed the story because it had all the lore in it, and it gave you like some perspectives on some of the gods and goddesses and everything from Greek mythology. So like I said, it's something totally up my alley. So I finally finished that book, and then all I wanted to do was stitch on this because I was so in love with the story that I was like, I just want to stitch on Hades and Persephone and let their story continue. Let me just sit and think about it while I'm stitching up. So I was doing quite a bit And once I reached the page, I was like, okay, I gotta put it down because I have other projects I need to work on that I want to work on. So I finished the page and I felt satisfied with moving on. So this, I just was like, boom, 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 couple days done. So as you can see, if I go into all the numbers here, I am now at 7,840 stitches, which means I did 6,288 stitches on this from the last time that you saw it. And I am 2.08% complete. And I did work on this for 7 days. So I had a whole week on this. It doesn't feel like that long. I feel like I did it pretty quickly, more quicklier than this. But I don't know. It did take a week, but I did get a lot done and I didn't even realize it. So this is really fun. This is a very, very fun stitch. I am doing this on 28 count, easy count, and I'm doing 2 over 1 10th stitch. And that's my sweet spot so far. It's the 10th stitch on the 28 count with 2 over 1. That is like, it's nice. It's not too thick. It's got a good coverage. So I think this is something I will most likely do most of my projects on is this count with that stitch. But here is the back. And like last time, this back is so clean and so organized, so much different than what Celestine is. Like, look at that. They're like beautifully, like the back is almost as neatly stitched as the front. It's so crazy. And I am still doing parking on this. I just finished the page, so I had no more threads until I start back up here because I work column by column. And I know people say like they see the columns. I see a little bit, but this is less that I see than I do on Celestine. I see more of the columns on Celestine, but I felt like too that was because I had the sulky thread in there. So I don't know if that's gonna change when I pull the threads out at the very end. I don't know, we'll see. It's fine. I'm not gonna be upset about it if they're still there, but that it is visible. You can see the columns that I'm working in more on that one. But this one, you can kind of see it in certain spots, but it's not like annoying. It's more evened out. So this is Persephone. I love it. I love it. And then, of course, you remember I have it in my Celestial Projects bag. Oh, and Persephone is a heaven and earth design. So moving on to my new start, I have finally started Halloween Quaker by Leela Studio. So in case you haven't heard, I'm sure everybody's talking about it now because this pattern is absolutely everywhere. Everybody is doing it. And somebody finally ended up asking the designer how her name was pronounced, and it is Leela. So thankfully I didn't say it wrong for too long, but yes, it is Leela Studio. So this is a totally brand new start. So I obviously didn't have any progress on it from last time. You just saw what fabric I had ordered, and I picked up the classic Colorworks, and I got all the called for colors for it. And this is a DMC in black. I also, I think, showed you what I was gonna make the project bag with what fabric I chose for that. And that was about as far as I had gotten in the last video. So this time I have started stitching on it, but this is the progress that I have so far. Do you see this? Look at this fabric though. I can't get over how stunning this fabric is. This is only half of it too, so I'm hoping it's gonna fit on half like this. I measured it and it looked right, so hopefully I don't run out of room anywhere. But I wanna say it's pretty true to, for the most part. It's maybe slightly darker green, but it looks pretty true to color there, right here. This is stunning fabric. I'm so happy I went with it. This is the full piece, but I decided to use this side because it had this purple area, and that's where the witch is gonna go with the moon. And I felt like it was kind of like the same splotchy position as it is on the murky fabric in the photo, in the model stitching photo. So I was like, well, that kind of works out perfectly, that it'll kind of have the same modeled areas, but with the different colors. But this is what I have. Let me show you up close the stitching I've got so far. So I finished almost the first page. I'm missing something, half of it here, half of the motif here, and half of the motif here. Not even half, it's like less than half. But I was like, if I'm gonna start those, I'm gonna do the whole thing. So I didn't wanna get too crazy into them and then be like halfway through one. I just wanted to finish like the little ones. So I have these little ones down here with the pumpkin, and then I finished this little one here. So I got really far on this. This one is so fun. It is so fun to work on. I don't know what it is. It's just, I love doing it. And as I'm stitching this motif, I don't see anything in it, but this one right here, it kind of looks like a spider or like a little bug. You see that? So that was fun. And then you have the witch hat, of course. This one has like these little like pincer looking leaves. And then this one, tell me right now that this doesn't remind you of Hercules, the little pot there. I swear to you, it's Hercules. That's all I see when I see it. But then you have your little pumpkin, and it's got like a little shadow behind him. I didn't even notice that until I was done stitching it. I was like, oh, he's got a shadow. And then there's like the little squirrel with the variegated floss look on it. So pretty. I love that color, that orange. It's gorgeous. What orange? Lobster claw? This one. I think that one's my favorite. It's so pretty. But yeah, this is the progress I got. And the fabric is perfect. It's more than what I thought. In the picture, it's a lot lighter. It looks like a more limer green, but this one is like a lot darker than that. And I'm so happy with it. I'm happy it's darker. But I think this is perfect. I think it's a perfect background for these so far with all the colors on there, like all the colors pop. So that's what I wanted. I heard that, I guess, Picture This Plus is like out of all their fabrics and stuff. So no wonder I couldn't find it when I was looking for it. But yeah, I'm glad I ventured out, and I decided to go with something completely different. Because I feel like it's different. I feel like it's like got a different life to it compared to everybody else's, because everybody else has it on like a very dark, as like the model picture, they have all the darker grays and the like coffee stain sort of look. So I'm happy I went with something completely different, and it worked. So this project has 17,997 stitches, and I did 3,132, which makes it 17.40% completed already. And I'm doing this one on a 40 count. This fabric, I didn't even tell you guys, I got it from Barbarelle Creations, and it's a hand-dyed linen called Halloween Party, so it's totally fitting. And it's a Zweigart Newcastle, so this is the little tag that it came with. It'll focus. And she also sent me a little like ribbon of the same, almost the same color. It looks totally different there, but I think it's from the same dye. So I got a little sample of ribbon in there, but that is my fabric. So it's the 40 count, and I am doing 1/2. It took a while to get used to the 40 count. It is so small. It's really hard to see sometimes. I'm like struggling. So like I said, I wanted to use this as a living room project, but I don't have really great lighting in the living room or downstairs in general. This is like the room that has the most light because I need light to make my videos. And I have the windows right here that get the most light as well. So sitting down there, it was really hard to see, but it definitely is tricky to work on. I have frogged so much on this. So much I have frogged. I would do an area and then realize I miscounted somewhere, and I'd have to take them out and restitch. I swear almost every one has a frog somewhere. I know this one I had to move over. I did it so much, and this was insane how many times I had to frog that. I think one of these I had to move. I think this was okay. I think I just had to do a leaf or something. This one I messed up somewhere. These were okay. I'm finally getting the hang of it once I got down to these little guys. And I think the hat was fine. The hat was fine as well. But yeah, there was so much frogging on this project so far. So I probably would have had a lot more stitching done on it if I didn't have to frog all of it. But it's a lot that I did get done, thankfully. So the 40 count is not my favorite, but I will do it just to have this fabric because it was only available in 40 count. And I don't think I would ever do a 40 count again unless the fabric is just that amazing like this one, because it is really hard to see. Like, I have really good vision, and it's just, I have so much trouble. I have to sit there and like poke. And I have 2 needles that I'm using. So I'm using my normal, what is it, 24, size 24. And then I also am using a regular stitching needle that I use to hem or ladder stitch my costumes and stuff. So I use, you know, regular sewing needles. So I have to use this in order to, one, frog, because it helps pick up the threads better, and to finish my threads in the back, because this is so blunt and the stitches on the back are so small that I can't get underneath them. So I needed a really sharp needle to like go underneath at least some of the threads to finish my end. And I poked myself, I don't know how many times. I'll put that out there right now. I think I got myself once real good. So this is my back. Let me see right here. There's my back. It is pretty neat. It's pretty clean, I think. I'm trying to do my best to keep it clean, like I say every time, because I don't like to waste thread, for one. But this is, I mean, I just follow paths. Like, I find it like a puzzle. So I'll find a path. I know Michelle Bendy Stitchy was talking about this just the other day. And I was like, yes, that's what I do. But she was saying like she follows a path and then she ties it off. And if it's like across somewhere, then yeah, she might do it. And if not, then she'll just cut it off. But yeah, that's what I do. I find a path and I'll follow it. And then when I get to like where it jumps real far or something, then I'll just restart my thread because I don't want to waste that section of thread. But yeah, that's the back. It looks really good so far. So this top part of the fabric, I think I'm going to cut it off because it's just in the way and there's so much if I have it raveled up. But I just haven't committed to cutting it because it's so pretty. I hate to have to cut it, but I don't need all this fabric. So I can probably use this much fabric for something else. That would be another project right here. So yeah. So this, I'm happy with it. I love it. I love all 3. I couldn't decide when I wanted to work on these. I couldn't decide which one I wanted to do. And so since I finally got to a point where it was like, okay, it's almost a full page, and if I start this or this, then it's gonna be more. So I was satisfied stopping here because I got everything, all the small things done, mostly on the first page and then what was next to it. So that's when I finally decided like, okay, it's time to move on to Celestine and get that done. Oh, here's my original grime guard for this. See how wide it is? This wraps over my key snap a lot, so I don't like it. I usually end up folding it back anyways. I just have to find time to cut off at least a little bit and sew up the sides so it's shorter. But I don't know, in my head I thought this was 5 inches. It's not. It's like 8 inches. We're 7 right now. Let me see. 6 inches. This is 6 inches wide right now. So I think if it was 5, or yeah, maybe 5 inches wide, 4 to 5 I think is the sweet spot for this. But yeah, that was my 8 by 8. So it fits on this one. So I ended up buying some new Q-snaps. I got a pack that had a 6x6, an 8x8, and an 11x11, a true one this time. So I ended up using a 11x6 on this one. And then I have it, when it's on the Q-snap, I have it this way, long ways. And I work this way. Since they're longer, oh, sorry, goes this way. Since they're longer motifs, I'll go this way and work in this whole section. So that's why I went down a little more than the page, because I had that much room to work down at the bottom. But yeah, I like this size. This is actually really nice for a little small one. And then the other two, obviously, I made them 8x11s. So both Celestine and Persephone are on 8x11s now. I did start Halloween Quaker on April 7th. So I did use most of the beginning of the month to work on it and a little bit at the end just to get those last little motifs in. I also did finish the project bag for this. So this is my project bag. So I did use my little witchy fabric and it's cute. Look how tiny though it is. It perfectly fits this Q-snap in here. So this is the 13x10 size from Jen Crafts and it is too small. I think it fit perfectly for, oh my God, I'm swinging this thing, poke myself in the eye. I realized I was rewatching my video to get the counts on what I did last time and I saw myself almost hit myself with the charms on the other bags a couple times. But here I go. That's probably the first of many that I'm gonna do that. But I followed her actual size measurements on this one and it fits this one perfectly, but I probably will not use this size again. I probably will make it at least an inch bigger because this is tight. And then especially if my project is on the Q-snap with the Grime Guard, it's pretty snug. So I would definitely have to add an inch or so to this. But I just used some purple fabric that I had in my little remnant stash and that matched with her little coat and everything. And then I used the black zipper and then I got the little spider. He's from Hobby Lobby. I went searching everywhere for some sort of like Halloween-y type charms. Nobody had any. I guess I just have to wait till Halloween till they have more of the Halloween charms and I'm gonna stock up this year. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna grab as many Halloween charms as I possibly can because this is all I found. I found another spider that was bigger, but it had like a jewel on the back and it was like seashell-y kind of. I was like, oh, that's not really Halloween. It's a spider, but it's not Halloween. Yeah, so this is the only thing I found that matched. So he's gonna hang out here until I find something else and then I'll probably put him on something else that matches more. Because I'd really love like a witch or something or like a bat, I don't know, a pumpkin, something. But no, just a little tiny spider. So like I said, I'm gonna stock up next time and yeah, the bag came out really cute though. I love the bag. So that is its home for now. All right, so moving on to a new start that I plan to start this month for sure. I saw it and I was like, I need to stitch that. So I was watching Crafty Rogue Gamer and I was watching Coco Hama's Stitchery and they both mentioned threadgeeks.com. So I was like, okay, let me go see, because they were showing off some of the patterns that they bought from the sale. And they had a bunch of like nerdy ones and stuff that were kind of cute. And they had like the silhouettes with the colored backgrounds or vice versa. And so I was like, well, let me go check it out, right? Yeah, I found something on there and I clicked add to cart and place order so fast that I barely had time to even process what I was doing. I just saw it and I was like, yes, I love that. So what I'm talking about is Windrunner. And this is Sylvanas from World of Warcraft. Now, let's get some little backstory into this, why I'm so freaking excited to have this pattern. My husband and I met, well, not met, we met before that, but we started talking because of World of Warcraft. He was coming home from his deployment in Afghanistan at the time, and I'm this single, like, I have nothing to lose girl at the time. And I was like, well, it won't hurt to flirt with him in case he comes home and maybe we hang out or something. So I go on and I message him on Facebook and I'm like, hey, I hear you're coming home. Like, can't wait till you get here. Maybe we can hang out. And he messaged me. He messaged me on Messenger, like maybe like a couple minutes later, and was like, hey, what are you up to? And I was like, oh, I'm just here about to play some WoW. And he was like, you play WoW? And I was like, yeah. And here we are 9 years later, and that's where we are. So when I saw this, like an actual art piece from World of Warcraft, because I've seen a few, I've seen like little Murlocs, and I've seen like the Horde and the Alliance and all this and that. I haven't seen anything like that was an art piece like this. And so that's like I said, once I saw it, I was like, I haven't seen anything like this. I have to have it. Another thing is for our youngest, we were between 3 World of Warcraft names. Not on purpose, it just kind of happened that way. We had a long list and the top 3 just happened to be World of Warcraft names because they were so different and so unique. So we were thinking of Jaina, which is Jaina Prodmore. And then there was Sylvanas, which is this one, Sylvanas Windrunner. And then there was her sister, which is Ilaria Windrunner. But I think they pronounce it Illyria on the game. From what I heard the other day, I was like, oh, they pronounce it differently. But I liked how Ilaria sounded. So essentially, we ended up naming her Ilaria. That was the one that everybody really liked, and we were in love with it. I just knew once I thought about it, I was like, oh, I like Ilaria more. But Sylvanas was like second runner up. We were like, oh, we can call her little Sylvie. How cute would that be? But no, we didn't go with Sylvanas. And then Jaina was just different. But anyways, so I will be starting this. I have already bought all of the floss. There was only like 30 colors. I think the only one I don't have right here is black. But these are all the colors. There's a bunch of grays and blues for the most part. There's a yellow. There's a green. There's a couple greens actually. Whoops. Oh my gosh. There's 2 yellows. Sorry, there's 2 yellows in there. A dark one and a light one. And there's a pink. Right? Isn't that crazy? But yeah, there's the green. There's a darker green. But yeah, everything else is like grays. Oh, there's a brown as well. There's a brown. And then, like I said, I'm missing the black, but I have the cone. So I'll just pull out black from that. And yeah, I'm going to put it on my easy count Lugana. And this one is a 17 by 27. So I forget which one that is. Is that a fat half? Fat half, I think. I don't remember. I know Michelle Bendy said she was talking about that too. She was like, I don't know what size is what. And I'm like, I deal with this all the time and I still don't know either. I have no idea. But this is the other piece of 28 count that I bought from Cross Stitching Supplies. So now I can use this one. So this was in my stash already. So I was like, this is perfect. This is the exact size I need. And this is exactly how I want to stitch it, just like Persephone. So I'm going to do the 10 stitch 2/1. And yeah, so this project is basically ready to go. I've already bought the pattern and I just have to start it. So, oh yeah, I do have to kit it up. So I still have some of these left over. So I'm just gonna use these again and put all my floss on here. Because there's 30 and these are 20. So I'll need 2. So I'll still have more for another project. How exciting. So yeah, so that project, Windrunner, you will see that next video. And you'll see my hopefully good amount of progress on that because it is also the 10 stitch and that goes really quickly. And it is a much smaller picture. I'm a little unsure about the sharpness of it. Like it looks a little pixelated, more pixelated than anything else compared to the other ones I've done so far. And so I'm a little worried because I am doing it on a smaller count. It was recommended on 18 count, but I didn't want to do 18 count because I was doing the tent stitch and I felt like that wasn't going to be enough. So, enough coverage, I should say. So I was like, no, I'm going to do it on 28 count. So it's going to be smaller. It'll be a little dinky thing. It's only like 9 pages. So hopefully it won't look too pixelated. Now, if you remember, the other project I was talking about was my long dog sampler, and I wanted to do the new normal. So I've been collecting everything I need for that. I did order the fabric that I showed last time, and I did order the hank of the floss that I saw in Socks For You. So I'll show you what came in. So the fabric I got was from Etsy, and it's To Die For fabrics. I got a 18 count Aida opalescent. Now I thought with this, in my head, it was gonna be the black, like it shows in the picture, but maybe it'd have like that sparkle, so like the white little sparkle bits, so maybe it would look like stars. So that was my idea when I purchased the opal. I was like, okay, like I know they have the regular Aida, but I think it might look kind of cool with the sparkles in it. But this is what I got. This is the Raven Black. So this is the fabric. This is true to color, so it's not black. I was hoping it was gonna be like a darker black gray, but it looks more like a blue with black modeling on it. And the sparkles are like a blue-green. It's pretty, don't get me wrong. It's a pretty fabric, but not what I had in mind at all. So this is just not, this isn't gonna do it for me, unfortunately. I will save this for something else, something that isn't full coverage and can show the background, obviously. So I will put it away and hopefully I can figure something out with it soon. So I did go back on, and I noticed a lot of people posting their like review pictures of the same fabric. They were getting the black fabric. So I was like, maybe I just need to order the Aida just as it is and not get any opal. So I reordered this fabric in just the regular Aida. It hasn't come in yet. It's gonna take a bit. It did take almost 2 weeks before it shipped, and then it took like a couple days to arrive after that. So it wasn't too long that I had to wait once it shipped. But I did order it maybe a week ago, so it'll probably be another week and a half before I get that fabric in. So I won't be starting the new normal at this time. I also did get the floss, the hank, from Socks For You. So this is it. Oh my gosh, it looks so vibrant on the camera. Maybe it is that vibrant. No, I don't know. It doesn't look this vibrant in person. Maybe a little bit, but it definitely is more vibrant on the camera. Yeah, I don't know, but it's not as vibrant as I thought it was gonna be. Like, it's got these nice purples here, and then the blues get a little dark here, but in the picture it just looked so much more. I don't know. It's pretty, and I'm gonna use it. I'm happy that I did get it because it's got the colors that I want in it. Some of them had like pinks, or they had like greens, and I didn't want any of those. I just wanted the blue to purple. So I think it'll be okay. Maybe once I'm like stitching with it, I'll be more happier, or it'll show up a little more. Hopefully if that fabric is really dark the way I want it, then this will come up real nice on it. So like I did find my little piece of full black Aida this time, but you can kind of see. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, so this time around, I know I did real well on the Halloween Quaker, but I don't know. I feel like I didn't make it this time. See, this was what it would look like. It would be too much. That's way too much. And then if I did end up doing this, I wouldn't use the gold because I think it would clash too much with these colors. So I did pick up some yellows and a gold of the diamant. So this is the diamant that I picked up, and then these are the yellows that I picked up. I also didn't realize that this is what everyone's talking about with the what is this? The étoile. So this is, I got the gold étoile. See, it's got the little sparkles in there. Really pretty. I picked up some yellows that are similar to like a gold, to see maybe if I didn't want to end up using a metallic, then I can use like this to kind of give it that, how I was saying with the bag here. See how this is kind of what I was thinking, like a yellow gold. So I definitely decided not on this one. This one was 38.20. I decided on more of 38.52 or 7.83. So if you can see it next to it, see how pretty that'll look? Or even the étoile. I don't know about the diamant anymore. I think that's, oh, now I see it in the camera. It looks pretty. It looks pretty in the camera, but I don't know, in person I'm not sold. So I don't know. We'll see when the fabric comes in. If the fabric is how I like it, then I can really put it all together and see how everything looks. And then I can decide from there. So New Normal is on hold. Oh, also with the Silks For You, they gave me a needle minder. A little peacock needle minder. So I'm going to use that. And so the hank on the Silks For You is PR152, in case you were looking for it. Because I ordered this from Etsy, they did say that the prices are cheaper on their actual website. And it was like it would have been $10 cheaper from what I paid for this. So I'll know that for next time. But I'm happy with the floss. The floss is beautiful. It is beautiful. I just wish it had that more vibrancy like I see in the camera. It's vibrant, but not like that. That's what I want. All right, so there's the New Normal. And that's what I have on that. So that probably won't get started yet. I'll see when the fabric comes in, and unless I really absolutely love it, I probably won't start it until next month, June. And I guess the last ones that I want to start is from Unconventional X Stitch, and I just can't decide which one I want. There's Dark Fairy, there's Hip Hop Octopus, and Medusa. And I can't decide between the three which one I really want to start first. So I didn't put an order yet. I'm going to put it soon. I just, like I said, I fell into Thread Geeks, and that took priority over everything. So I moved everything down the list essentially. So I'm going to start on that one, and then I'll do the New Normal and get that started, and then I'll probably get into the Unconventional X Stitch pattern, whichever one I decide. So I didn't get anything else for haul kind of things except for these. I did buy these at Hobby Lobby. They are tail end weavers. They don't work, so I think I'm gonna try that stitchy thingy that everyone talks about. I might try that, and not to Dritz. So hopefully they have it at Joann's or something, or I'll order it online. But yeah, these didn't work. So I think they're for yarn, but they had it there in the cross stitching section in all the floss and stuff. So I don't know about that, but I will, I'll save them because I'm always, I have a stash of craft stuff, so that'll work just fine. So just the beginning of this week, I was sitting and doing my little cross stitching at night after my girls went to bed, and I watched my little Flosstube videos, and I'm just sitting there like Miss Crochet and Coffee says, minding my own crafty business, and the girl that I'm watching out of nowhere says my channel name, and I was like, what? I was shocked. I could not believe it. I finally got my first shout out. I'm so excited. So thank you, Hannah Dowling. Go check her out. I honestly was sitting there and I was enjoying her video so much. And I was like, okay, she's really cool. So I'm listening. I'm like into her video and I was thoroughly enjoying it. So it wasn't toward the very end almost to the video where she said it. And I was like, what? Totally caught me off guard. So thank you so much. I just wanted to say thank you for giving me that little shout out and everything. I'm glad I was able to recommend something for you, but go check her out. She's in the under 500 club. So she's perfectly right there to have a big shout out because she definitely needs some more recognition. So go ahead and go check her out. And I just wanted to say, like I said, I'm eternally grateful because that was like the coolest thing. But otherwise, I have been watching Darcy Cameron. Everybody loves to watch him. He's so refreshing. And I'll watch Sammy Liz is someone else I've been watching. And I'm really loving Kansas City Girl in a Colorado World because she's got some like out there projects that she's doing. If you've been watching her too, you'll know what I'm talking about. And yeah, so she's really great. I love watching her videos too. And then she's got like the little book thing going on at the end, and I'm into books. So she seems to read quite a bit of things that I am interested in. So I like that a lot because then I can kind of hear like her little input on it. So that's who I've been watching lately. I still have a list on my whole watch later, and it's just a bunch of floss tubers that I want to check out. So I'm just slowly making my way down the list in there. So I'm back to the grind again with my sewing projects. So I don't know how far I'm really going to get this time with all my stitching projects. Hopefully I get a good amount done for you guys. I'm hoping at least another page on Persephone to finish the row on Celestine, or at least the page on Celestine. Come on, gotta finish the page at least. My Halloween Quaker, maybe I'll try and finish half a page because that one does take a while to do. Especially since the next two things are the big motifs. That first big motif took forever. So I think at least one more big motif is good. And then we'll try and get something done on Windrunner. And then we'll see about the new normal. So those are my plans. I am not doing Mania or anything like that. I'm too new. And I'm not about to start that many projects. I can't. I'm already struggling, like trying to decide what to do right now, like let alone adding 50 more things. Nope. So I'm not doing any of that. So I almost forgot. I was like about to go sit down and start editing this video. And I forgot that somebody had asked me in my last video, or in one of my other videos, if I could show them how I kit up my threads so that I make them, like I wrap them around my arm and then put them on their thing like this. So I'm just gonna show it real quick for those of you who are curious as well. So I have my little floss. Take off my little things. I'm gonna put those aside. I'll open it so it's a circle now, because originally they're just like this, right? And in the package, and they're strapped. So I open it up so it's a nice little circle. And then I'll look for the opening or the edge that's on the outside. Not the one, oh, they're both on the outside. How do I do it? Sometimes they're underneath. See, this one looks like it's more underneath. But I look for the one that's usually on the outside of the circle. And you can start it from here, but I find I always get tangled up. So I usually unravel this whole thing to make sure there's no knots. And I'm usually very careful about it not getting all jumbled when it's falling on the bottom here. So I'm just gonna unravel it real quick. Like I said, you can, but usually when I get to this part, if I'm like winding it, I make a knot somehow. So this is why I just completely unravel the whole thing. It's just easier for me. It takes a few minutes longer, but sometimes it's fun. I mean, for me, it's fun to kit up. So I'll grab the little end, and then from here, roll up my sleeve, I'll wrap it around. So I usually go about here. That usually gives me about my right thing. I'm not too tight. It's like tight, but not like like tight enough so it doesn't fall off, but not too tight to where it's like cutting off my circulation. And I'll just start going around, meeting at the top. Go down, down, down. Like so. See how I don't get any knots for the most part? So like when I have my leftover here, as long as it's this long or longer, sometimes it'll come up here or down here. It just depends how you're wrapping it, how tightly and how big your arm is and whatnot. But as long as I get it at the least. So then I will grab it where that end ends. So I have two of the ends here now. I'll meet them together. And this is the top now. This is much easier for some reason when I do it by myself. Okay, so this is the top, right? Here's my ends met together. So the way I decide which end I'm grabbing, like, oh, I'm not grabbing this side, is because I don't want these two things to hang down, right? So we want them to hang toward the bottom now. So I'll go down like so. Oh, see, I did mess up one then. Okay, so my two ends are hanging down. You can see one there, two there. And I'll cut this end. So take my scissors and I'll cut. And there I have my working thread. So this is fine. It's not gonna be the length of this. It'll just be the length of this side and then this little edge, just for this one section. So that's fine, because you still have a pretty big enough piece there. But that's basically what I do for every skein of floss when I'm kitting them up. So then I'll just take my end, I'll shove it through the hole here, and then opening up that loop I put in, you grab your floss and pull it through. And that's what gives you that tucked in, or that folded edge there. And then from here, you just take your needle and you pull off a thread from here, and they just come right out. I'll do one more. That was terrible. Let me try one more. So I grab my end and I just start going around. So see how it ends on this side this time? So I'll hold it here, and I have one here. I'll meet them together. Remember, you want the ends to hang down, and this is the side you're gonna cut. And there's your skein. So thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for any comments or likes. All right, so I hope that I see you next time. That will be the first Saturday in June. And thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Bye.